For the last 30 days, I disappeared off of social media. I wanted to reflect on my time. I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to work quietly on the goals and to finish my achievements before the end of the year. And I wanted to do this without noise. So the first thing I did was to remove all of the apps off of my phone because it was a simple distraction opening the apps, scrolling through the feed, automatically being pulled through the shorts that you were constantly watching, and each dopamine trigger got me to watch more and more. And when I looked back, there were hours and hours going into it every day, despite not using my phone in the morning because I always wanted to do the exercise first and read first and all that stuff. But as soon as I grabbed my phone, I was hooked. I did not want to do anything else anymore. And this was my time to reflect and to go off of that. For that, I actually was reading the book called Dopamine Detox. And this helped me make the decision like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's go without social media for a little while. And yes, technically YouTube is social media. So in effect, it's not completely, but we'll get to that point. So I removed all of those apps from my phone and I left it only accessible on the computer. So when I was working on the computer, I was able to access it. But because I removed it off my phone and was less interested in it, I automatically also checked less on the computer, which was a side effect. But for the first couple of days, where after deleting the apps, I was really struggling. I was noticing how often I was taking my phone to press Facebook or Instagram and then scroll through. And despite wanting to see what was new with your friends, for some reason I always got hooked into the shorts, into the short triggers. And for some reason, those apps seem to know exactly what you want because I kept being hooked. Oh yeah, let's do just one more. Oh, let's just do one more. Oh, let's just do one more. Before I knew it, I was exhausted from watching all of those videos and the mood went completely down the drain. Like, okay, I completely drained myself. What am I going to do? So at the first couple of days, that was extremely difficult. I kept grabbing my phone, looking for the apps. Oh, I don't see you. And then put my phone away again. 5 minutes later, I grab my phone, I look again. Oh, the apps are not there. Let's just put it away. And it took me a few days to actually started to make use of that time. So in that case, I started to write and I started to read a bit more. First, just simply to get rid of the distraction of grabbing your phone and trying to watch social media. And after about a week or so, I finally managed to not grab my phone all the time. And that's when I reflected on myself and was like, okay, now we're really getting the hang of not constantly watching those shorts on your phone and being able to focus more, think more about the content that I wanted to make and how I wanted to make sure I could help people the way I wanted to. Because you can preach a lot, but if you're not fulfilling it yourself, then what's the point? So after that week and reflecting how it went better, I started to really dive in and dig into more work. You will see the results of that shortly, but I did manage to complete my goals before the end of the year because I had a couple of hours extra in the day, because I was able to focus more on those hours. And instead of me doing my exercises and reading just first in the morning before I grab my phone, I now was doing literally everything before I could grab my phone. So it could be at moments that I grab my phone only at 12 or like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Because you were not so distracted by it anymore, it does not really matter. And did I miss people? Did I miss looking at my friends? Did I miss contacting them? Of course I did. That's a feeling I really had to get used to because it was new for me It was new to the people, and I often got comments, especially from my family, like, "Why don't you respond to my messages anymore?" Yeah, and then I just explained, like, yeah, my phone is not here. It's in a different room. It's completely gone from distractions because I want to focus on becoming the best version of myself. And luckily, they started to understand, and they sent me a message, and eventually they knew that I was going to respond just later. Of course, there are moments that people need you in urgency, but there's settings on your phone where you can just do that to make sure you only get sounds from certain calls or certain people. And every other person or reason someone would contact you can be quiet until you get the time. So it helped after I started planning later in the afternoon, sometime for me when I was on the PC, to check social media then. But because I kept being away from it for so long in the mornings, I had already fulfilled most of the things that I planned to do today. It was much easier to get away from the distraction because I turned off basically all of the notifications I could get from every app that was on my phone, like school for the kids, an app for the swimming, an app for the football. It's so many different apps that you can have on your phone, but I literally turn off all the notifications and said to myself, if people need me or if they want me to know something, they can either reach out by a call or send me a message and I'll read it eventually. It does not matter if I have that information right there and then, because it only distracted me from the goal I was setting for myself. And probably the biggest benefit that I have now, after being without the social media on my phone for 30 days, is that I can be very intentional about what I watch. I used to go on those videos, endlessly scroll, or even go on YouTube and endlessly click a new video, and my feed kept being messed up. Like, hey, if you do this on YouTube, you'll grow. Hey, if you do that on YouTube, you'll grow. But that's not the part that I wanted to reach, because I want to see what people in my niche are doing so I could actually learn from them. But my feed was completely hooked up because I was not being intentional about the stuff that I was watching. So as I mentioned, after the week, it got a lot easier. I was planning my time more. I managed to do the things that I wanted to do, and it made it a lot easier. And because of that, and because of the book Dopamine Detox that I was reading, I decided that those 30 days is not it. From here on, I am not going to install those apps on my phone anymore, because I've seen what it brings me. I've seen what it did to my mood and what it did to my attention and what it did to my work in progress. That the amount of value that I gained from it is so incredibly big that I do not want to go back. And of course, there will be times where I'm weak. Of course, there will be times where I want to check on those shorts again. I want to trigger the dopamine. But I have now found different ways in order to do that. In the future, I will keep in touch. I'll let you know what else progresses. But for now, I literally want to tell you, take that step. Delete the social media apps from your phone. Make it more intentional when you want to open it. You will change and shift your life in such a way that it will open up a lot more. And most of all, don't worry about letting people down. People will actually start respecting you more once you reserve your time for those activities. At least they did to me, so I'm certain they will do to you. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.